Mile High Five. And welcome in, everybody, to the MHRT Podcast. I'm your host, Mundungus Creevy, alongside my co-hosts, 6'10", Mr. Boggins and Glenn Hauser. We are a fan-led, Broncos-based podcast filling you in on all things NFL news, but more importantly, Broncos news. We go live every Thursday, 7654 on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. Now, we have started a quest, ladies and gentlemen. It's a quest for 1,000. I've been asked by some of our supporters about merch, supporting the podcast, all kinds of questions like that. And the best way to do that right now is to help us reach 1,000 subs on YouTube, because we can't do anything as far as merch and things like that because none of us have deep pockets. So it's expensive to get merch. So what we can start doing is reaching towards 1,000 subs on YouTube so we can start working on that merch idea and the support. And believe me, we have some pretty awesome ideas. As to the kind of merch we'll be doing, we've talked about it, we've discussed it, we've laughed about it because it's going to be fun. So make sure you slap that thumbs up button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and share so that you can know when we go live and anytime we post amazing content on our page, and so that other Broncos fans out there in Broncos country can know that we are here. Like I said, those intros keep getting longer and longer and longer every episode. And that's not even the outro yet. That's long too.
No complaints from me.
So we've had some things happen over this last week. We had some mini camp.
6'10", manscaped his face.
6'10", manscaped his face. Mr. Mobad had a baby. Congrats, buddy.
Yeah, congratulations. Woo. Yeah.
Adorable.
Yeah, more babies.
Malik.
Malik.
Take that now.
I like the sound of that.
I think he's done enough mile high five, and that's why he had another one. Let's see here. We got Johnny. That's not even Johnny. That's Bob Skinner. It jumped on me. I apologize. Landon, Johnny, KB82. What's going on, buddy? Bob Skinner. Sup, Broncos country. Let's see here. We have got. Nope, just repeats. I'm not going to repeat it again. So, I think probably the biggest thing, well, maybe, was the Juwan James release. They actually decided to release him and said that they are not going to pay him the $10 million. I'm gonna be honest, sucks to suck, but I know that he's going to. It's Kenneth Booker. That's what KB. I completely forgot that was KB82.
It had us all baffled because I was trying to figure out like
who is KB82?
You can't be changing your name.
You can't do that, Kenneth.
Alternate account, very sneaky, Ken.
No, I don't disagree with it. I know that James is talking about filing a suit against the Broncos, but really he doesn't really have a leg to stand on. I mean, it's in the contract with the NFLPA and the NFL that.
Was that that's a cruel Achilles joke, by the way.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Have you not met Mike lately, Glenn?
I tried to sneak it in there and see if you guys didn't get it.
Yeah.
But no, I just nothing's really going to come out of it. I mean, is it? Unless he goes after the NFLPA, and I don't even think he can do that. So I don't disagree with it. Like, screw your $10 million. What did you do to get it?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you, Mike. I think right now, if he decides to pursue any type of legal action, it's more looking like a wild goose chase more than anything. You know, if he gets anything out of expenses and what it'll cost for him to run a court case of that magnitude, by a high profit. Hello, my friend.
That's the creepy way.
So I wish him the best in his future endeavors when he gets healthy and he reapplies himself to join another team next season. But I just don't see him getting anything, not just from the Broncos, but from the NFLPA themselves.
But I've said it before. I think that they're going to let him keep the $3 million signing bonus, and they're probably just going to forgive the $150,000 that they gave him when he opted out last year. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case and they said good riddance after that. But yeah. I mean, if anything, if he does try to pursue something, just make him have to do a little work and he'll give up.
I agree with Glenn. I think he's going to file a grievance. I don't think it's really going to go very far, but I think that's just kind of the natural process of things. But I think, it's from what I've heard is the Broncos aren't really they're not clamoring for that $3 million signing bonus. So at least you get to walk away with something potentially. Yeah. So.
Well, and then there's the DaeSean Hamilton, which sucks. Tore his ACL. He was working out and I know they'd announced that he was going to get released, and then he wasn't released, and then they were going to trade him, and then he tore his ACL, so now they're going to release him. It sucks because I think we could have gotten like a 6th or 7th rounder out of him. Like I would have wanted something, but I kind of wonder if they're going to do the same thing with Hamilton that they did with James.
They already did.
Did they? Or okay, so it's not like a specifically towards James payback kind of thing. Now it's anybody that gets hurt off.
Never released him to begin with, and it sounds like it was the 49ers that was hiring to pick him up. So fortunate for everybody.
I think there were multiple teams interested, and I think the 49ers had the highest offer of like a 6th round pick or whatever. But it's common practice for a team to float waiving a player out there into the media, and so that other teams will inquire about him, and that's what happened. And one thing that wasn't very clear, and then all of a sudden was that he tore his ACL during non-football injuries, what it's called. So it's really, really sucks for him. We all obviously all wish the best for him, but it's going to be a rough road turning back around.
That is correct.
That's what I was laughing at before when I saw the thing. I was laughing at Hamilton's injury.
Yeah, and one of the things I said when I was listening to it was one of the MHH shows. I don't remember which one. But I don't understand why the NFLPA is fighting to have less practice and less time at the facility and not fighting to change practices to where, like, the veterans have a little bit more time off, the rookies have a little bit more practice, but as far as in the classroom and learning the plays and things like that, like the veterans can stay away from there because they already know it, unless it's a new coaching staff. And then like you slowly build into the physical aspect of it. Because you think about it and you're like, well, they signed a contract. They got to show up and do all the physical stuff with it. But then at the same time, when you start playing, let's say the average American, you start playing football, 7th grade, if you're not doing peewee, and then you play 7th, 8th through 12th, and you're not practicing nearly as much as you would in the NFL. And then you go to college, you got 4, maybe 5 years of college. So your career is not all that long if that's all you're doing. But then you get into the pros and you add in all that and then add in a possible 20 years at the pros. Like, I get it. I get why veterans want to back off on practice, but instead of not showing up at the facility, change it so that practices are different or, things like that so that veterans get a break but still at the facility and then rookies get the practice that they need.
Yeah, but then that's something the CBA should have thought about when they were working over the contracts. It's just like, I don't know. They put the players in such a bad position. They don't have like any form of insurance for these guys that when they tell them not to go to training because of COVID or whatever, or because the ratings were last year. Like it's ridiculous. And then they tell them to go work out off field. Then they get injured. Now it's in NFI, and the team is like, well, okay, we legally don't have to pay you now. And then the NFLPA is kind of just like, oh, shoot, well, good luck, I guess. Yeah.
Christos, you think the NFLPA would somehow get them insured to work out offsite? I do believe that the NFL is the NFLPA is the only players rep or players union that does not offer health insurance outside of the league. I think the NFLPA is the only one that does that.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And at the same time, you're sitting there going, please tell me that there's not like professional football players that are like, oh, I can't afford health insurance. Shut your face.
Mike, I think it's the disability insurance that Christos is thinking. And I mean, one, I agree with him completely. And two, I'm surprised that there has not been some sort of about face encouraging the rest of the team to come in. I mean, how many more guys? Someone else is going to get injured from other teams. It's bound to happen.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like Boggins said, it puts them in just such a terrible position where they're, making these decisions and following suit and following in line. And $10 million is a lot of money. I mean, that's $1 million is a lot of money. And I don't know what
especially when you only got
100,000 is a lot of money.
Right.
I mean,
right.
yeah.
10,000 is a lot of money.
Yeah. I mean, but when you're an NFL player and you signed a huge contract and now you're missing out on, I mean, you already missed out on last year getting just the $150K for opting out and then now the 10 mil. So it's just like,
and future earnings, Boggins, even after this year, after the recovery.
Like
who's going to
sign? Yeah, exactly. It's tough. I think Hamilton has a better shot of getting signed before Juwan James does.
I agree.
Yeah. And then you've got was it minicamp we had over this weekend? Voluntary minicamp.
Second week, yeah.
Drew Lock's the next.
Didn't they have like 70-something people show up out of 80 or like 78 out of 80 or something like that?
Only Justin Simmons, Teddy Bridgewater, and Brandon McManus were the only three people unaccounted for.
Yeah, and Bridgewater had personal stuff because he hasn't gotten everything moved or something like that.
No, he had a kid.
Oh, okay. He had a kid too?
Mm-hmm.
So what you're telling me is that Muhammad Badri is Teddy Bridgewater. is that what you're telling me?
So what you're saying is Muhammad Badri can beat out Drew Lock in a kitty contest.
It's not Mo Bad, it's Mo Bridgewater.
Yeah.
13:42 into the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I guess we can keep going with that. So the hype coming out of minicamp is that Drew Lock moved his right foot forward 2 feet, and now he is an MVP candidate.
How do I look?
No, and I get it. I'm glad that he looks better. I'm glad that his stance has changed, but at the same time, I'm not buying into anything until he's getting blitzed or he's under pressure or he's in a game time situation. Like, I think this whole thing boils down to, I do not trust Drew Lock. Playing until he can prove me otherwise, I don't care what your stance looks like. If you can maintain the stance and the footwork and the accuracy while being blitzed by Von Miller and Bradley Chubb, cool. Now we've got something.
I just think Broncos country at this point is just clamoring to any like little glimpse of hope. And they see a quarterback they want so badly to be good that they are picking at every little thing. You know, they've heard and they've seen over the last season that his footwork's bad. And so you see him take one step forward, even stance like Peyton Manning. They're like, oh my gosh, let me put a picture of Peyton Manning next to him. And they're like the same person.
Well, and I loved watching the video where he's throwing Judy's cutting in, and then there's another wide receiver on the other side doing the exact same route.
Yeah.
And the balls get thrown and caught, and the trajectory was exactly the same on both throws from two different quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So I'm not taking anything away from the guy, but my balls look whoa.
Finish that statement, please.
Hold on.
This statement is brought to you by
when I am in my backyard throwing the football to my kids, my passes look crisp and accurate too. I mean, when you're out there on the field, and they really do. To me, they look amazing. I'm just saying, like anybody who is moderately talented at being a quarterback, if you're throwing against no defense and just out there playing catch with the receiver, the football is going to look pretty darn good. So
it's the same thing as like when people give grades after drafts or when people talk about pro days, like just take everything with a grain of salt. It's not, you don't know until game day.
How about predicting the record or going over each? Wait, we do that.
I've got that down. Like if you guys want to predict I've got the schedule all written down, right?
You know, it kind of reminds
can't see it, but I can.
It kind of reminds me of when Case Keenum joined the team, and I would see the headlines from different Broncos websites talking about, you know, Case Keenum, the gunslinger, you know, slinged a 60-something yard pass, and so made an amazing catch.
Amazing.
And it was amazing. So that's
we
kind
had
of
a good week of practice.
Yeah, so the hype, they're
I
so
attribute that.
they're so good at building up the hype, which is great. Don't get me wrong. I love getting hyped up just before the season. But when you can't allocate what you see or heard from practice into the actual season, that's a huge letdown, man.
See, and I'm there with Bob. I just want to win. Exactly. Like, I don't care who the quarterback is. If we win, I don't give a crap. Like, Locke, Bridgewater, not Flacco. But like, other than that, like, if we win, I don't really care who the quarterback is as long as we're winning. Don't care.
Based on his self-assessment, Mundungus could be the quarterback. It sounds like he's got the.
I wouldn't be able to see over anybody because I'm 5'9", so I would be looking straight at the center's butt crack.
So, Kyler Murray's
that, I will throw it all day. I just won't know who I'm throwing to.
Kyler Murray's what, 5'1", 5'2"?
What?
Kyler Murray's short.
Kyler Murray is not 5'1". He's like 6'1".
No,
Kyler Murray, I think, is 5'10", 5'11".
Yeah.
Russ,
he's the shortest quarterback in the league, I think.
He's not 5'1".
I don't know.
Dude, when you're 6'10", you just lose all.
When you're 6'10", everyone's 5'1".
Yeah,
hey, he looks small on TV. He looks small standing next to Roger Goodell.
You're not measuring him from the TV screen.
He's not 5'1".
Max was watching Webster reruns on MeTV or something. I think
the shortest NFL player I knew of was Trenton Holiday when we had him, and he was 5'5". That's like, and he was like an anomaly. So, and a punt returner. That's it. That's
you heard it. You heard it here first. Kyler Murray's 5'1". Go ahead and spread that around.
Yeah. We'll get like Colin Coward ratings.
Yeah, wasn't Darren Sproles? I think a short wide receiver too.
He was
running back.
He was 5'7".
A running back. Sorry. Yeah,
5'8". I think.
Yeah. So I remember him because I remember there was a picture of him.
Muggsy Bogues
of the NFL. That's so true.
I can confirm Kyler Murray is 5'10".
Ooh, thank you for the clarification, Landon.
That's not right. I just saw this. Andrew Hawkins is the shortest ever at 5'7", and that's not right.
What? 5'7"? That's like just 2 inches shorter than you, Mike.
Trenton Holiday is 5'5", so Google lies.
Who's shorter than me?
5'7". You said you're 5'9", right?
I'm like 5'9 3/4".
5'9".
So gotta give me that 3/4.
Are you going by your driver's license there, buddy?
No. Yes, I am, because that was taken like 10 years ago. So yeah, I'm going by my driver's license. Travis Tarbox, just a thought. The one thing I would love to see this year is Vaughn winning Defensive Player of the Year. That's the one thing that's eluded him in his career. DB for life.
Oh. Yeah, wasn't there one?
He didn't win Defensive Player of the Year when we won Super Bowl 50?
There was that one.
Really?
He won Super Bowl MVP. There was that one season where I think he lost by a vote or a few votes to Khalil Mack just before he went to the Bears. So I think that's the closest Vaughn has ever come to winning Defensive Player of the Year.
He sure looks small. That's because everyone's the size of 6'10".
No,
really?
he won Super Bowl
won
MVP.
It?
He won Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, he has it tatted on his leg.
Who did he lose it to?
Khalil Mack.
It's what year?
20.
What the Super Bowl year?
2014, I think it was.
Probably JJ.
That wasn't Aaron Donald, was it?
Maybe.
Aaron Donald, I think, has won it twice?
3 or 4 times, I think.
Yeah.
And now you got JJ's won defensive 3 times, 4 times. They're both in there somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Mac or what?
Vic Beasley.
I know Mac's won it.
Travis Tarbox, Vic Beasley. Really? Okay.
Yeah, I think the was he with the Titans now? Vic Beasley?
No,
he's out of the league, I think, right?
No, he's not drafted. He was with the Titans.
He was on the team last year.
Yeah, he did.
I think
he didn't even make the whole season. He was
yeah. Well, he was injured. He was injured.
Vic Beasley never won it
the whole year.
He's joking, I think.
Yeah. Booker.
No,
I'm not calling you
JJ.
KB82. Kenneth Mac or
I was right. It's JJ.
JJ. Okay.
Or I guess depending on what year, it would be the end of the year. I don't know.
I
JJ
thought
or Khalil Mack.
The Super Bowl was his best year as a player, right, Vaughn?
No, his second year he got 18.5 sacks, I think.
Oh yeah, 2012.
Yeah,
2012. Because 2013, that's when he got
year.
injured. That's when he got injured on the playoff game. Okay. So he didn't make it to the Super Bowl. that year. Him and Chris Harris, they were both injured.
None of those names are Super Bowl MVPs. Eat it.
Yeah, Mack and Watt don't have rings either. Von Miller has one at least, and Super Bowl.
Good old
MVP
Malcolm
title.
Smith, Super Bowl MVP.
Oh yeah,
Bring up that one.
Super Bowl 48.
I was like, who's Malcolm Smith?
Yeah, exactly.
Or
Good old
49.
NFL or Super Bowl MVPs. The relevance.
Oh wait, that's Malcolm Butler. Jesus, I got my Malcolm's crossed. Sorry.
Yeah, but he didn't win it either, though, did he?
Butler?
No,
No, that
Brady.
was Brady.
Yeah.
Brady always won.
That was Daryl Bevel.
I was going somewhere with this whole thing, and I don't remember where I was going.
Come back, Mike.
Got me
Come
all
on back.
distracted.
Come on back, Mike.
It was Defensive Player of the Years and stuff.
As long as you don't start another conversation about your balls.
Hey, and don't hashtag me on that either. That was a mistake. I
Hashtag
wasn't
Mike.
trying to go there. I was
Mike's
talking
balls.
about footballs. No, it's not hashtag Mike's balls.
That
Thank
should be
you
the,
for,
my balls are ...
thank you for that image, Glenn. I won't be able to sleep tonight.
Oh, he's throwing them in the backyard.
I'm fine with the image. Okay, we were talking about Drew Lock and his new stance.
Mhm.
Yay. The PFF rankings that apparently everyone is up in arms about. Have you guys seen these?
No,
Yeah.
All right, here.
I haven't been on Twitter a lot today.
I was working on sharing screens, so now I know how to do that now.
Yeah, I
And I learned how to
do
zoom
it.
too. Check it out. Boom. Boom.
Whoa.
Boom.
Right? Okay, so honestly, most of these I
Who?
don't really disagree with. Like Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, well, maybe. Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Deshaun. But they've got I'll just keep going down. Prescott's a little high.
I'm realizing Mike's alone in the bookstore, so he really needs to be better be careful which screen he's sharing.
I've only got 2 screens up.
And the privacy screen doesn't help him here.
My son is also in the chat. So.
Hey, Landon. Sorry.
Matt
Landon.
Ryan, Baker, See, Stafford's kind of high.
I would put Stafford
So
over Baker Mayfield.
Tannehill's going to fall. Without Arthur Smith, I think Tannehill's going to struggle. There's only so much you can do in terms of handing it off to King
Carr's
Henry.
a little high, too.
You know, Carr's always been
I don't
He's
know.
underrated. He's underrated.
I don't know if I'd put Carr over Herbert yet.
Well, I mean, Carr's always starts great, and then towards the end of the
Well, and
regular
then,
season,
I mean, they got
crashes.
Kyler Murray down there, Joe Burrow. I don't know if I'd put Carr over Murray and Burrow. I'm not saying that I think Murray and Burrow should be like close to the top 10. I'm just saying I don't know if Carr should be above that.
He's currently produced more.
The only credit I give Derek Carr is the fact that he actually beat the Chiefs at home.
Whoop,
So-
whoop, it's magic.
I'd say the suspense is killing me, but I know where this is going.
Yeah, we all know where it's going. Garoppolo,
Yeah.
22. Wentz is 23. That's interesting. I'm wondering if they're basing that off of him being back with Frank Reich and assuming that he's going to play better. Because if not, he shouldn't be at 23.
That the 2016 Philly Eagles are going to show up to Indianapolis.
Well,
I think that's
2017. I mean, he basically played an MVP caliber right there,
Mhm.
and that was with Frank Reich. So that's why I'm wondering if they're ranking him that high because of the assumption that he's going to play better under Reich.
Mm.
Because if they're basing it off of last year, he should not be that high.
Ooh.
He should be right down there, like 30, 32, like in there.
Yeah, I mean, I know they brought T.Y. Hilton back, but the one thing Carson Wentz is missing in Indy is a big name wide receiver, something he had in Philadelphia back in 2017. So
They have Pittman Jr. also.
yeah,
Winston, Hill, Fields, Goff.
How is Fields ahead of Goff?
I don't know.
Upside.
the upside, the hype.
Yeah, and I don't know.
Receivers, maybe? I don't know.
Maybe. Well, yeah, Lions don't really have any receivers. Who are their receivers? Do they have any yet?
Not yet, but they'll probably be playing for that number 1 pick next season.
No, they won't. Texans are that's already set in stone.
Number 1, number 2,
I don't know
baby.
what you're talking about. They just signed like 4 amazing quarterbacks.
Quarterbacks, yeah.
Mhm.
Newton,
No one's
27.
ever put 4 in at one time before.
Yeah. They're going to rotate like they have four
One
starting quarterbacks.
One snaps, one throws, one catches.
They're just going to rotate them.
Now they're in dire straits when Jeff Driscoll gets the call.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold, Tua Tagovailoa, Zach Wilson, Jalen Hurts, Drew Lock.
Our boy.
That's
now.
I do disagree with this. Actually,
as him at 32.
I put him 31.
I think 30, 31, 32.
Or over.
Well, that's why I'm saying. Like, I don't disagree too much. Like, I don't know, because like anything that they're saying in here is completely accurate.
You just gotta, like, again, take it with a grain of salt, because there's so many different factors that go into this. Some of these guys haven't even played yet, and some of these people have, like, Tua played how many games? So it's just kind of like, I don't know. I think this is where PFF gets the bad rap. Is like, I think they're good when they just give out stats, but then when they give opinions, they kind of they make themselves look worse than just your basic, like, Colin Cowherd or someone like that, because they come at such a, like, this highbrow statistics. These are statistics, blah, 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 blah. And then here's my opinion, so people can rip them apart. So it's kind of just like,
well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think he's getting shade by being ranked at, I mean, maybe a little bit, but not a lot. Like, I mean, everything they said in there is accurate. Like, I understand, the argument of, why do you have rookies ahead of Drew Lock, and why, the Wentz thing is throwing me off a little bit. Tua, I don't know if he should be ranked above him either. But I mean, what they're saying in there is accurate. So maybe a little bit of shade, but I don't think he's that far off. Like, I don't think he should be any higher than 28.
Dude, I think he should be in the 25 range. I know he had a bad year last year, but my God, to see who's in front. I knew you were going to disagree, but I mean, to see how many rookies and lousy. I mean, Tua didn't even finish the game against us.
But at the same time, you got to look at that Dolphins roster, though. Like,
what was wrong with it?
I'm not saying there is. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I think that's why they have him ranked up there so high, is because.
Dude, if you're looking at the roster, then Jared Goff should be 31st. I don't know. It just.
I think, like, he should probably be over Tua. He should probably be over. What was the 30? Who was 30? Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts is right above him, and then you got Zach Wilson at 30. I find it interesting that they've got
Zach Wilson so low, and then Justin Fields
up there.
Yeah. You don't think Drew is better than Cam Newton? Come on now.
No, as a straight up quarterback, no.
Oh, the guy had 8 touchdowns. If Drew had 8 touchdowns, we would be absolutely.
I mean, he had 8
but again,
touchdowns.
You're not comparing the rosters there. Like,
quarterback? I mean,
tell me the level of.
I hate that excuse. And you can't be going after, like, Lamar Jackson and stuff.
I know, but Lamar,
he's not really a quarterback if he's not throwing the ball.
I'm just saying, like who was Cam Newton throwing the ball to?
Himself?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much. Like, Cam Newton was the Patriots last year. That's it.
Right. Yeah. Then how is he? I know they signed 4,000 players, but
I think we can.
I'm taking the Drew Lock fan stance here. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, and again, I'm not sitting here saying that he didn't get passed over a little bit, but I don't completely disagree. I don't think they're throwing shade on purpose. I think that's just kind of how it turned out.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that there are quarterbacks on here who haven't taken an NFL snap yet, and they're ahead of Drew Lock, it really gets you thinking. I mean, literally a year ago, Drew Lock was all the hype. People were talking about him, how he was going to be the next big sensation, just like Mahomes was, just like Lamar Jackson was, and how Kyler Murray was coming along. And unfortunately, Drew Lock he flatlined, man. He went straight down. So hopefully this season, the opposite happens. He can pick himself back up, and he can kind of catch up. And I don't know if he'll ever make the number 1 on PFF's list unless he goes off and, he has an amazing season and wins the Super Bowl. But even then, it'll be hard for him to crack a top 10 spot, I would say.
Well, the other part of me is wondering if they're including coaching into their decision on where these quarterbacks rank.
But Zach Wilson, dude?
They did mention Coach Fangio in Julock's description. So,
but then it's like Justin Fields is going to Nagy. Like,
well,
I don't know.
Justin Fields can save Matt Nagy's job. I'm just saying, if Matt Nagy fails with Justin Fields, Matt Nagy's gone.
And that's what Fields was. He was the pick to save his job and to save the GM's job because they traded up to get Trubisky over Watson and Mahomes. So,
yeah,
anyway.
I don't know. I'm not saying that they're not throwing shade. I'm not saying that they are. I agree with it somewhat. I don't necessarily know if he should be 32nd, but when you look at quarterback rankings, he was 32nd. So I do criticize him, but I think this one is a little bit tough. So.
I can agree with that.
Christos, Trevor Lawrence over Drew. Oh God. Speaking of Jacksonville, guess who their new tight end is? This guy right here.
Yep. And he's still yet to make the roster, though, Mike. So
he hasn't made the roster, but he signed a contract.
Yeah, he signed a contract, so he could still be cut and not see.
Honestly, I don't. If he's selling tickets, I don't think they're going to cut him.
Yeah, well, I mean, it all depends on if he can go in there and win the locker room over. Because there were rumors and speculation that guys in the locker room were not happy with Tebow coming on board as a tight end. So.
Bob Skinner lock was so bad last year, but the whole team was bad. I can go with that. I think that there were some improvements in certain areas.
Not there.
Yeah. That was what I was gonna say after Mike's comment was the whole team wasn't there. They started off there, and then little by little, it was just started coming apart.
So did you see
like when Colin Cowherd was like, the defense was so bad last year? It's like, what defense?
Yeah, the four string defense was pretty bad last year.
The fourth string off of free agency defense, mind you.
Do you see Tebow's wearing number 85, and so all these jerseys are being sold online for 85. Well, you know what's going to happen is they're going to get rid of Minshew. He's going to take 15 all these 85 jerseys.
No, I actually didn't see what number he selected, Glenn. He chose 85.
Yep.
He looks jacked too. I mean, he's big, thick. He's thick, as you like to say.
Thicker.
For
hashtag thicker. Where you at, Moped? Hashtag thicker.
That's my co-host right there.
You know, Christos has a prayer, so maybe we should all go there.
No, we're not. That almost gave me a heart attack last time. Not that one. That one.
There you go.
Please, Lord, let us win.
Amen.
Yeah. So speaking there, no.
There's two C's.
So like, wow, thicker. So speaking of Aaron Rodgers, apparently
so uncool.
There's some breaking news that Aaron Rodgers and John Elway were playing golf in February. Bye.
Sorry, my camera went off.
It's okay. It's better heard, not seen. You got a face for radio.
Yeah.
Apparently breaking news that Rodgers and Elway were playing golf in February. I don't know why that's breaking news now, but it is. Breaking news. Rodgers is coming to Denver.
Yeah, apparently they ran into each other at a golf course in February. And everyone, since it's now relevant to talk about.
Did we figure out whether that was correct or not? I mean, I know Albright came out and said that there was a source in the Broncos that wasn't really a thing. They just kind of ran into each other. And then there was someone else that was like, yeah, they were there golfing for hours with each other.
I don't know, but if it that would be really early tampering, I feel like.
Yep. Elway screams fart at Rodgers, and that is automatically tampering.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they weren't going to play tennis because the moment he said love 30, Rodgers would be
super angry.
I'm out.
I'm done.
No way, dude.
No, yeah, it maybe it was something, maybe it wasn't something, but I also don't think Albright would confirm something that would make the team look like they potentially are tampering.
Yeah.
So it could be.
Yeah. Romy Bean from, I believe, CBS in Denver. She's the one that originally was telling the story on the podcast that McAfee then picked up on and played her comments.
Yeah.
So it's no surprise that Ben would then try to tamp that out a little bit to.
Yeah, that's where you got to get all your news from, is Pat McAfee. That's where you need to get all your breaking news from.
All the strong facts.
I do.
The Pat McAfee show.
He's extremely close with Rodgers, so it's anything that he says about Aaron kind of sticks out for me. So.
And then you got, and then AJ Hawk. He talks about it all the time. Did you watch the episode? Like, it was like a day or two ago, where AJ Hawk was trying to light a cigar, and his lighter wouldn't work, so he grabbed another one, and then had like a 6-foot flame shoot out of that.
Oh
thing.
yeah,
that was funny. Pat's in the middle of a conversation. He's like, "You almost lit your house on fire, by the way," and then just kept on going. Oh, let's see here. Travis Tarbox, regardless of who's behind center, just ready for our Broncos to win again. These last few seasons have been terrible.
That's my second amen of the night, Travis.
Right. I kind of wanted to go into the Bridgewater lock thing. Like, again, whoever's playing quarterback is who I'm going. I don't care as long as we win. But I know there was this big thing over people thinking that Lock's going to get held back because they're splitting reps 50-50 and not like 70-30 or 100% Lock. And then Bridgewater's got to win over the second team in order to get some snaps. I'm trying to figure out the whole concept of bringing Bridgewater in and whether he's here just as a backup to push Lock or he's actually here to fight for the starting spot.
How could you lose? How could you lose opportunity when you had a full season with these same players already? Like, Teddy Bridgewater hasn't had that, so if anybody's at a disadvantage, it's definitely Teddy Bridgewater. It's not taking away reps from Lock, like taking away training camp reps.
Right. Well, and the way I think about it is whoever starts, we went from having Drew Lock with Driscoll and Rippon behind him, where if Lock goes down, it's like, holy crap, like, are we going to win a game? To having, whether it's Bridgewater starting with Lock backing him up or Lock starting with Bridgewater backing him up, you have good quarterback either way, starting or behind. So, I mean, obviously we short up the quarterback position. The question then is, was Teddy Bridgewater brought in specifically to push Lock, or is Bridgewater brought in to actually compete for the starting spot? Because, I mean, it was over a month-long negotiation process to get him here. So obviously they were aiming to get Bridgewater in the building.
They were just kind of, I don't know if they were waiting for, maybe some time to pass by so that way the money to hit the cap hit or whatever wasn't as high, kind of like they're trying to maybe do with Rodgers, waiting till the 1st of June. But I honestly don't think so. I think that Teddy Bridgewater was on on George Payton's list since after the draft, since they didn't go for Justin Fields. And I mean, who's going to start if they don't go for Rodgers and it comes down to either Lock or Teddy Bridgewater? Is anybody's guess. We can only hope that neither one of these guys gets hurt, and that they both show improvement.
You find some wood and knock on it right now.
Right here. So
don't be jinxing it like that.
I'm not jinxing it. I just hope that we stay away from that injury bug that really severely crippled this team last year. But I think that the team is going to be okay with either one of these guys in the helm, because Locke is starting to show a little bit of promise. I'm not saying like a complete 180, but we're starting to see that, he's taking this more seriously than he did last year, because he knows that the pandemic is no longer an excuse. The coaching is no longer an excuse and what have you. So if he gets the starting job, it's put up or shut up for Drew.
Yeah, he moved his foot forward a foot, so he's obviously MVP caliber.
Is anyone else bothered by he's taking it more seriously this year? Like, You're a
It
professional.
bothers me a little bit because it's like, what were you doing last year then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know we had when Adon's talking about all the people saying Locke's going to take it to the next level and he could be an MVP, and that was us. Like that was us. We were
that was us
amongst everybody that thought this team. I mean, the injuries just absolutely destroyed us. But
Jason
anyway.
jumping in. What is your take on having a QB battle? We were just kind of talking about. Does it take valuable reps away or not so much? If they both are running the same plays, maybe it doesn't matter. I don't know. I one point that I did like that I heard on, I want to say it was Broncos Country Today or one of those shows, was that Locke has never really had that veteran presence behind him, because we know that he had Flacco, but Flacco was like, no, I'm not going to touch him. I'm not here to teach him. I don't care. So last year he was the veteran quarterback until they signed Bortles, and Bortles was never in the building, so it didn't really matter. So now they actually have that veteran in the building that is willing, if he's the backup, or, you know, Bridgewater has said, I'm happy to come in and push him and help him learn things and teach him and things, and having his back, which he basically hasn't had before. And again, we're like, none of us are like, yes, Locke fails, woohoo! Like, the best outcome is for Locke to be the starting quarterback and to be that franchise quarterback. That is the best scenario you can come up with. But then the question becomes, since his play last year led him to be in a 50-50 split competition for the quarterback spot, does that hurt him more, or does that push him more and he gets better?
You already tried one way. And I don't like this idea that like a QB battle, well, when talking about like, is it a good idea? Like, it's not like a team wants to go into with like a QB battle. They're usually in that predicament because they don't have a starting QB. And a lot of the times if they draft a rookie, this rookie comes in, and how often do you have, you know, a start like a Tyrod Taylor or a Matt Flynn come in, and they're your starter, but there's no, they haven't officially said there's a QB battle, but then the rookie outplays them. So it's just like, it no team wants to be in a QB battle. But and also back to the point of taking away reps, like I said before, Locke had a full season plus of reps with this team, with
coaching
majority
staff,
of the receivers. Like, and the only one who's going to be in a disadvantage is Teddy Bridgewater coming in, learning a new system, or well, a new system.
Well, kind of.
I mean, he knows Shermer, but you know, anyways, coming and learning a new system, learning, you know, new read or timing with other players and whatnot. And also, I wanted to address the, you know, he can't compete if he's not there on the first week. I think we addressed that earlier. He was
Bridgewater,
he was not at OTAs because he was having a kid. So
Bridgewater, bad.
But you know, it's one of those things too. Yeah, exactly. Bridge Baudry.
Bridge Baudry.
Intentional QB battle.
Stay. Yeah, if you need extra reps, stay after practice. These receivers are hungry. They're gonna want to be out there. Just get more reps that way. I think it's
just at the facility.
I think it's fun. Right. Exactly. You know, it'd be a fun exercise is to think about what would we be talking about right now if the quarterback position, if Locke had balled out last year, everything was situated. What would be our point of focus at this point of the off season? You know, to talk about if it wasn't about the QB.
Just a lot of yays.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Bob Skinner, if Locke can quit turning the ball over along with Gordon. Correct. And that was one thing with, like, I keep hearing these, those last 5 games of the season, he balled out. No, he really didn't. He was a game manager that stopped throwing interceptions.
His only ball out game was
he didn't ball out. He was throwing like 200 yards a game.
Yeah, his only ball out game was the Panthers game, where we saw a glimpse of what we were expecting Drew Lock to be all season, which was when he heaved the ball, you know, somebody was there at the other end to catch it. He only made one mistake that game, and that's when he got bull rushed and he fumbled the ball. So if we can see more of that and less of the bumbling the ball, we'll be in a good spot.
Panthers also had an extremely young secondary, whole defensive team and team actually. So
yeah.
Oh, and I also want to point out, like, if you're sitting there and telling me that Locke is better than Bridgewater because the Broncos beat the Panthers, go away. We don't want to talk to you anymore. It's not how that works. Stop it.
Me and Glenn were about to leave. Like, oh, show's over.
Jason O'Neill, I know, right? How does one pick which year to start playing for reals?
I was waiting for the LOL to follow.
You know, it's another point about the turnovers is this defense. We are primed to have a top 3, top 5 defense. Yeah, barring injury and also barring them having to be back on the field in shorter order. And that's what was happening last year is these turnovers were gassing the defense. They were toast by the end. Their ranking was really unfair, even with the secondary being on their 8th or 7th or 9th cornerback or whatever it ended up being. Yeah, this defense got the team to even the 5 points, quite honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Dun, 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 dun. There you go. Travis Starbucks. Excited to see what Javonte Williams will do for our run game. He's my favorite draft pick in this year's draft. Yeah, him and Miners. I'm in love.
Yeah, but how about Brown? I mean, just
Browning.
Yeah.
This draft class is awesome.
Do you think because Melvin Gordon was talking about earning that taking his game to new heights and maybe staying in Denver, making it his home. Do you think that Williams is going to overtake Gordon, or is it going to be like a Williams Gordon split, or is it going to be a Williams and then Boone ends up overtaking Gordon? Like, let's say Gordon has some fumbling issues and they take him out.
No.
Okay, so it's going to be like a Williams Gordon split.
Yeah, it's going to be a Gordon Williams split.
You heard
guaranteed.
You heard me.
Maybe different Gordon. if the NFL decides to still suspend Gordon for a couple of games, but it's most likely to be Gordon Williams.
Boggins. So what would happen? So he gets suspended for a couple of games. Williams comes in there, shows his stuff. Does he ever get the starting position back after that?
Well, but what is a starting spot for a running back anymore now, though? It's by committee, right?
Yeah.
Are we talking like 3 down back or 2 down back?
It would probably be a lot like you see with Gordon Gordon and Lindsey, like early when it was more 50-50. Like probably more Gordon on third downs, a lot of wide outs and stuff like that, just because he's a bit better at pass catching than Javonte is, but Javonte hasn't had the same opportunities that Gordon has with that. So
who's going to be the red zone back, you think?
Probably either Royce or, I mean, if Royce is still there or
Williams.
Yeah.
I could see it too back.
Because Williams is like that little bowling ball.
I want to move Royce to. No, we can't. Never mind. I was gonna say move him to fullback, but I think we still got Andrew Beck who can actually do other things besides that. So, I don't know. On goal line, you got a lot of bruisers in there. Gordon's probably the least bruiser of but he's also the biggest. So,
who is
Gordon?
Williams? Gordon?
Mm-hmm.
Is he?
Mm-hmm. He's the tallest and just like, I mean, if you want like girth, then you're talking Royce, but.
Is that with 2 R's? Just like thicker with
thick. It's thicker.
3 R's.
Mike, it's thicker.
Oh, this is
just don't roll the R.
Yeah.
Man, where's that manscaping ad when we need one?
Girth brought to you by Manscaped.
Yeah.
Oh, Jiminy.
The more you use it, the more it's
I had an idea, and then girth got stuck in my head. Now I don't remember where we were going. Williams reminds me of CJ Anderson.
Yeah.
In a way. I mean,
I could see that.
Kind of like a Mike Bell too.
CJ
and go for it. Sorry.
CJ Anderson was a wonderful undrafted surprise. I will say that.
I'd say he reminds me of CJ in the balance after contact and maybe height. Not so much because CJ was pretty chubs, but you know.
Yeah, but he could throw a shoulder.
Yeah, I like the comparison more of Nick Chubb for Javonte Williams.
Yeah,
is that the one you were laughing at?
When I heard he was saying CJ was pretty Chubbs. When I heard the Nick Chubb comparison during the draft, that was all I needed to hear.
If you watch both their tape, it's pretty similar.
It is. It really is.
I think that's a very flattering comparison. Well, because I heard the same thing too, Glenn, and I didn't know who Javonte Williams was, but when I heard that, I was like, yeah, I can see why.
You didn't hear me raving about Javonte Williams all offseason?
That was his number one running back.
That was my number one. I love that boy.
Yeah,
I honestly didn't think we were going to get him. I didn't think the Broncos were going to value a running back that high, but I guess I should have known based off of what the Vikings did with Dalvin Cook and
Madison. Yeah, Madison was their number 2, and we have their number. Who was their number 3?
Mike Boone.
Yeah. So, but Mike Boone
in talking about these bruisers.
But Mike Boone was more of kind of like he can be special teams, he can be running back.
Mm-hmm.
So
the chat is killing me right now.
The new Mountain Dew with alcohol in it.
Thick Tatum Bell. Girth got stuck in my head. Thanks, Dave.
Hey, we're guys.
What are you drinking with Nuggets? The new Mountain Dew with alcohol in it. Yeah.
Only in Nebraska.
Heck yes.
Only in Nebraska.
Heck yes, I am.
Heck yes, I am.
Heck yes. I just got
Book is saying Gordon will be the red zone RB. Maybe.
I hope not, because I'm only going to be able to get one running back in fantasy, and I haven't.
I would
decided who's
you got to stay away from committees. in fantasy. You got to go for the pass catching backs.
Oh, that's true.
Be a rookie in fantasy football. Yeah, you want me to teach you some things? I'll teach you some things.
Yeah, you can teach me not to pick Philip Lindsay anymore.
Oh,
talk about a committee,
buddy.
Someone's coming to visit you now. You just angered the Lindsay fans.
I'm sorry, but
kick him in the shin.
You guys are killing me.
He didn't do enough to win me anything. I'll say that.
Do you think after this offseason he is really kicking himself? Forget about kicking Adon. I think he's got to be kicking himself that he went to Houston.
I mean, the predicament was already in place. Like it was the writing was on the wall that where that team was going, and so I don't.
It's even worse than I thought, though. I mean, look at
it is so bad. Like, why would DaeSean ever want to come back to that if things pan out the way he would like?
Driscoll's soft hands.
Well, now he's got all that competition at quarterback now.
5 quarterbacks. Jeez.
Peter Sanchez, how you guys doing? Well, this chat's going a little off the rails today, but we're good.
We're here for banter. That's what we're here for. Bring them in. Bring the comments in.
Bring the comments in. So we had.
Yeah, we're not big enough to get in trouble yet.
So Surtain signed his rookie contract, so he is now locked up.
Oh yeah.
What? Okay, so there's Kelly Klein and Roman Pfeiffer, right?
Yeah,
those are the 2
new hires.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know a whole lot about them. I looked into Kelly Klein a little bit, but if George Payton thinks that they're gonna help him out, and I mean obviously the front office looks different, and I heard that with Kareem Jackson this offseason, I guess that there were a bunch of players that went to Payton and was like, hey, we want K-Jack back. And that's why he ended up bringing him back. Like,
I'm sure.
Would that have ever happened under Elway? Did that happen under Elway?
Maybe if they were lobbying for Drew Lock.
I mean, they were willing to bring him back in the same cost that all the other safeties were getting brought in. So
number 5.
No, they didn't. Did they really? Is that a joke?
I don't know.
I think that's a joke.
I think he's pulling.
I thought he's done. He's coaching now. He wants to coach. He was like doing like head coach interview.
No, he was. Yeah, but he was still on a
coach
roster
interview.
last year, though.
I think he's an emergency quarterback.
He was the
Eagles,
emergency COVID backup last year for.
That was 2 years ago.
Was it Philly or was it Jets?
Yeah,
no,
I think it was 2 years
he was
ago.
one last year too.
He was able to live in Texas and then like fly into the games. But my favorite McCown picture is when he.
Can confirmed he was signed by the Texans. No way.
I don't believe you.
Did you see the picture of McCown's daughter and she and all her friends were wearing his jerseys for all the teams that he had? And he made in his it was in either Instagram or tweet. He said that his daughter didn't have enough friends to fill all the jerseys. Anyway, I digress. You know, it's so funny. You got to look it up. It's great.
I digress.
So when you mentioned Kelly Klein, you mentioned Roman Pfeiffer. They hired, I hope I don't pronounce it incorrectly, but Seiwan Joe is a Western national scout. What I like about Peyton is he's really changing the culture around it. It's all throughout the organization. I think Brittany Bolin has a lot to do with this also. You know, I like that the players think that they have a chance of staying here. I like the diversity that they're bringing into the organization. You know, you read about Kelly and she's just so accomplished. They worked together almost 10 years at Minnesota. You know, so she's a familiar person to Peyton, trusted. I really like the direction where they're going. And when you're doing these kind of things, when you're getting the players on board, when you realize that they're not playing for their contract with another team, I think that the sky's the limit for this team, especially if we can get everybody healthy and everybody productive. Yeah,
and if there's one area that I definitely am going to trust Peyton in, it's bringing in like player personnel people and scouting and like that. That's where he cut his teeth. So I definitely trust him in that area.
Roman Pfeiffer was a great linebacker with the Rams too.
That's why I recognize that name.
What?
I knew I recognized Roman Pfeiffer. He was a player, right?
Yeah, he was with he won 3 rings with New England.
Okay. I knew I recognized the name. I just wasn't sure if, you know.
We do.
If he caught some balls in between those 3 championships, I'm pretty sure he did.
Whoa.
You notice I just said he was with the Rams. I didn't mention it. That was by design.
Going to the tackle that just got let go by Morgan Moses.
Oh yeah,
from
Pope.
Washington.
Ryan Pope.
No. Morgan Moses, the starting right tackle for the Washington football team.
I thought you were talking about Ryan Pope.
No, he got let go by Washington. Would he be? He's what, 30, 31?
What position?
Where he's right tackle, and he hasn't missed a start since his second season.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So is that?
Well, we just officially signed
Fleming
today,
and we got
Bobby Massey.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, would Morgan Moses be an upgrade over Massey, who I'm assuming is probably going to be the lead candidate for starting? Yeah. So would Morgan Moses? I mean, they were trying to trade him, and nobody wanted to take his contract. So do you think that it was a calculated, like, let him go and we'll sign him at what we want?
Could be. Like, they could be letting him test the market.
Morgan Moses might be an option for the Broncos, or no?
I mean, I think it's I don't know. I tried to get some answers on it earlier, and I got nothing back about like maybe the Broncos' interest in it. So that maybe that's something. Maybe that's telling something. Like maybe they are interested.
Dave, they cut him today.
Yeah. 6'6", 330.
30 years. He's a big boy, and he's 30 years old, and he doesn't get injured. So that's what I'm saying. Like, and I don't know how he plays. I don't know if he's a good fit. I know that he's more of a run blocker instead of a pass blocker. And that's just reading a little bit. But I mean, would he even be a good fit? Would it be someone that Denver would want to go after? Like, how much would he be demanding?
Just depends on how much they feel comfortable with their current situation. I mean, they would spend more than they currently are.
Right.
So that's That's what it is.
What?
104 games played, 97 starts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think he's missed. I think they said he hasn't missed a start since his second season.
Whoa.
And so if he got, let's say he got drafted at 21, 22, that's what, 7 years of not missing a game?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know the contract specifics of Fleming and Massey, but I mean, I guess it just depends on how they value it, what Peyton values. And I mean, if you're going to get Rodgers, one, you want to have him protected, but two, you also want the cap space for it. So
we've got a lot of cap space still, though, right?
Yeah,
because we're wanting to carry that over to next year.
Well, we'll have to get rid of someone or cut someone for potential, because I think Rodgers would be like 25 mil, and we don't quite have that. So I think we'd have to move around some stuff.
Well, I thought we were still up in the 30s.
So Moses did play some left tackle last year too, so he's got some experience with that.
Don't make fun of my jersey.
He irons it every day.
Suck it, Johnny. Shiny? With Sutton getting 1,000 yards, this isn't like a legit. I don't think. Yeah, this isn't a legit. This is a Reebok. This is an old jersey. With Sutton getting 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns with 3 quarterbacks, what numbers do you think he gets this year? That's so hard to know because we don't know who the quarterback's going to be.
It's not only that. There's also other top receivers that are on the roster with him that he's going to be sharing.
Well, and he's
still coming off an ACL.
Yeah, I still think that Sutton gets over 1,000 yards. I think he's going to be that lead target, but I don't know because Drew's playing style is different than Bridgewater. Bridgewater's going to be more short throws and safe, whereas Locke's going to be like, throw it up and see if you can go get it. So it kind of depends on who starts, how the knee holds up. Please, God, do not take that brace off before you have to.
Yeah, it also depends.
To stabilize your knee, do not take that thing off.
It also depends on what defensive coverages he runs into. Cortland Sutton is a pretty tall wide receiver, so if you throw anything up top, he can pretty much always come down with it. But if you're looking at maybe double teams and, Jerry Jeudy with the way he can break away from defenders, it's just amazing, man.
I don't know if you're going to be double teaming him a lot of, maybe bracketing a bit, but I don't think you're going to be double teaming any of these because we have a lot of receivers.
Yeah.
Booker, it doesn't matter who the quarterback is with Sutton. Well, and that's why I was saying it kind of does because with Bridgewater, you're leaning more towards yards after catch, whereas with Locke, he's going to throw it up, those deep balls. The more 50-50 balls rather than what Bridgewater's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Has Teddy ever had a receiver like Cortland though, like where Cortland could be running down the sideline and just lock it?
he had Stephon Diggs.
Oh, you're right.
Mm-hmm. No, wait, no. They didn't play on the same team.
Yes, they did. Yes, I already looked it up. Yes, they did.
Stephon Diggs was already there before when Bridgewater left.
Adam Thielen was the one that came in after Stephon. No, wait. Yeah, no, they were both there.
I did not know that. I thought they came in after the Bridgewater season.
No, because Thielen and Diggs was there from I think 2014, 15, and then Thielen was there 15 or 16. So they were both there when Bridgewater was there.
Yeah, Diggs caught. I'm looking at Wikipedia, and one of the descriptions is Diggs caught a short pass from Teddy Bridgewater at the third. So they're.
Yeah, they were. So he's had Stephon Diggs. I don't know, and then he had when he was at New Orleans, he had Michael Thomas.
But Cortland Sutton and Stephon Diggs are not even close to the same player.
No, but that he's had that leading Michael Thomas. He'll go up and catch anything too. So, and he did have Michael Thomas there at the Saints. So
DJ Moore and Panthers is good too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's too bad we won't.
Yeah, I'm just Bridgewater's not that gunslinger that Locke is. So I don't think he's going to throw up as many 50-50 balls. So Cortland, that's why I think it kind of depends on who the quarterback is. Locke's going to throw it up with here, you go for it. Whereas Bridgewater's not going to do that.
And he's also coming off an ACL and one of the most demanding cutting positions. So
that's what I'm saying. Don't take that brace off.
I've heard people say, "Why is he wearing the brace?" I'm like, "Are you crazy?" The team is telling him. He admitted the other day.
It's the same thing with Locke. If Cortland's got to take his brace off, Locke's got to take his off too.
Yeah.
Like there's so many players with braces.
They're
But,
brace
like,
brothers.
I can't wait till Cortland Sutton changes his stance before he releases for a route, and then everybody's gonna blow up. They're like, oh my gosh, Cortland Sutton changes his release.
And like I tore my ACL, MCL, all that kind of stuff when I was younger. And like you're in that immobilization brace for a while, and then you've got to wear that brace that Sutton's got on. You got to wear that for a while until the knee can hold up on its own. Mm-hmm. So until that knee is stabilized and everything is healed up, do not take that off. Because the second you get hit on the side of your knee, you're done.
Especially when you're going into a contract year.
and Kenny Golladay got almost $20 million.
Yeah.
And Rivera, what's up? What's up, guys? Do you think Miners can beat Cush for the starting center job? I honestly think they're setting him up to do just that.
That watching the gut just train and
because it doesn't make any sense that they would have Miners start over Reisner, because Reisner, we've seen what Reisner can do when he's not held back by the center. Glasgow's got Moody behind him, and I would much rather have Moody over Glasgow anyways. The biggest problem we had on the line last year, other than stupid Wilkinson or Wilkerson, whichever one you want to say, was Cushenberry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was just a rookie problem or if he just wasn't understanding what was going on, or I maybe he needed help from the quarterback calling out protections. I don't know. Like my deep dive into football isn't that deep, so I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's going to be interesting because nobody really knows what's going on in the mind of Mike Munchak, because you have to remember, this is the same man who kept insisting on putting Elijah Wilkinson out there when we had DeMar Dotson. You know, he wasn't injured, but I mean, at this point in time, it's anybody's guess. It's a toss-up. I mean, I tried to give Cushenberry the benefit of the doubt because he was a rookie, but like Mike said, he did make a lot of mistakes. He made the guard's job a lot harder because he wasn't able to hold on his own. So I guess it's up to Cushenberry. If he doesn't show any improvements, during training camp, he can easily lose that center spot, and then they can see what they have with the gut.
So when they were showing him with I feel the belly. I know. Totally.
There you go. Get in my belly.
Hey, I've been saying that for years as a fat dude. So yeah, I agree.
I don't know if you had the opportunity to, and any of the viewers, if you had the opportunity to watch the pressers with any of the top draft choices, the top 3 rounds. These guys are so impressive, just so good. And they asked Miners about the belly. They asked him about the altitude. And he said that he needed to let the belly breathe, and it needed to breathe a lot more in this altitude. It was so funny.
That's a thin area. I don't blame him. He's probably not the only one who said that as one of the incoming rookies. I wonder if he's going to play it
like with his belly out on game days, so the
people
lining up next to him are like, I don't want to.
I don't think there's a rule set yet where it's like you
have to touch his belly.
Stomach.
I don't think you're allowed to, because otherwise, Zeke would have done it too.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing. Like, you can't play with your pads sticking out of your uniform. You have to tuck them back in before. Yeah, so I think
you can't even play with your socks rolled down. Like, if they go down and you don't put them back up, I think it was like a $9,000 fine or something like that.
Oh wow!
Booger, I think Cush had problems strength wise.
Even worse than Quinn, what we're going to see in the stands, we're going to see 77 jerseys and the big fat fans with their belly.
Dude, I didn't even think about that.
I'm down. Yeah, I'm down for that too.
Give me a shiny 77 and I'll stick my belly out. I'm good.
77, the shiniest one you have in the show.
Mecklenburg's just like,
watch out, Nebraska. There's a 77 guy out there.
What size you need, sir? Small.
Yeah. So let's break this down a little bit. So I've got the home games and the away games. So let's kind of go through this real quick, see what kind of record we can get, because we got where to go. Jason O'Neill. Did anyone else see where Denver's favored in at least 9 games for this upcoming season? And I think most of us had like 9-8, 10-7, 8-9.
I see that.
So we start the season at the Giants. Win or loss?
Win.
For me, first 3 games are wins for me.
So the Giants, the Jags, and the Jets?
Yeah. I'll agree.
Okay. And then we go to the Ravens. Well, Ravens at home.
Oof. I mean, if the Ravens are still in contention in terms of having their team from last season. I know Marcus Peters is always a handful to deal with. But I mean, Lamar Jackson, if our linebackers can't get it together by week 4, he's gonna run amok. So
sorry, I just saw these comments. Hold on.
Yeah.
His belly will get us 3 more yards on run plays. Jason, that jersey would look good with my mini kick.
So I'm gonna have to say loss on that one.
Yeah,
loss to the Ravens.
Yeah,
I mean, unless we can get Casa Bonita to cater the Ravens pregame lunch. Maybe,
I think
Lamar will get cramps again.
I think the defense will be able to hold Lamar, but I'm still not confident about our offense against their defense.
Yeah, so I mean, Baltimore's always a tough.
All right, so then we go to at Steelers.
That's a winnable game for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Big Ben, he's starting. That whole Steelers team is starting to crack. I mean, they did get off to an 11-0 start last seation, but what you saw them going into the stretch,
trash.
Yeah,
that's why.
But you saw what an upcoming team like the Browns did to them. Just totally embarrassed them.
So do you want? So we're doing win on that one or loss?
Yeah, I'm gonna say win.
If you think about it, Drew went down, Sutton went down in that game, and they barely beat us
by 5.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I'll give us a win there.
Let's go win on Steelers. Then we got Raiders at home.
At home?
At home, I think we win at home.
Yeah, I think we win at home. There's redemption. There's redemption there. There's no way we should have lost that last game.
I actually think we lose there. I think we've been losing
at
quite.
Home?
Yeah, I don't think that's really that much of an advantage anymore. Used to be. But the Raiders have been sneaking out on us early these last couple of years, I feel like. So I feel like Gruden always comes in with a really good plan the first week, and then towards the end of the season when we play him again, we usually.
Okay. And the commenters can play along as well. I think we win the Raiders at home.
Yeah, Donna. If people are bringing up. People are bringing up comments on it, bring them up because I'm looking at something else with the schedule on it. So
you got it, Chief.
I can't see the comments. So we'll put an L on that first Raiders game at home. So what about at the Browns? I'm saying loss for there.
Probably loss.
Yeah, I'm gonna say loss there too. The Browns, I mean, on paper they have a really good football team, and if that team shows up to play, and Baker Mayfield is still playing at a level that he was at last year, then they're going to be a tough team to beat.
And their number 1 cornerback is back, and so is Odell Beckham.
OBJ.
They played better without OBJ last year, though.
I think they're going to trade OBJ before the deadline.
They played better with him. I mean, like his first year there was like obviously chemistry issues, but I mean,
yeah. And then after the Browns, we got Washington football team at home.
We win that game.
Ooh, Fitzmagic.
That one scares me because their defense. Their defense, really their front 7, holy crap.
Well, they lost Ryan Kerrigan, so Kerrigan's out.
I'm not worried about Kerrigan.
Yeah, Kerrigan's not the big. Plus, they've got.
He's not the bigger part, but he was a part of what made that defensive team.
They got the running back and the wide receiver, and they just got a rookie wide receiver too.
Yeah, I mean Chase Young is not going to be.
I'm blanking.
Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, McLaurin, and then
and Gibson, Antonio Gibson.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said a rookie wide receiver.
Yeah, they got a rookie.
I can't remember his name, but Terry McLaurin is their star wide receiver. But yeah, Chase Young, he's going to be a handful to keep in check. Let's
do a win on that one for now.
I agree.
That's one of those like up in the air ones.
Yeah.
And then we're at Dallas.
I think we win that game.
I think we win that game. Dallas's defense is just terrible, even with Micah Parsons. I don't think just him alone is enough to turn that team around. And I have really little to no confidence in Dan Quinn trying to rebuild.
So win the Cowboys, and then we play at home against the Eagles. I'm going to go win on that one too.
Hey, win too.
Yeah, win too. Jalen Hurts.
They got De'Ami Brown.
And then we win our bye week. And then we play the Chargers at home.
Oof.
I'll give us the first one.
What's the 18th win?
I'm gonna probably. Well, we did beat them at home barely last year.
I'm gonna say
we lose that one.
New coaching staff. They probably haven't quite figured it out yet. I'm gonna go with win on that one.
Okay.
And then we got at Kansas City. I'm going loss on that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna say loss there.
Lions at home. I'm gonna go win.
Win.
Bengals at home.
Win.
I think so. Win. Jamar Chase and
they're still young.
Yeah, they're still young. To recreate what they had, Joe.
Just let you know that's 10 wins right there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then at Raiders.
Loss.
But we lost to the Raiders earlier. You think they're going to sweep us?
Yeah, I think we win that one.
I personally thought we'd win at home.
The first one?
There's redemption for what happened.
Okay, so we'll balance it out. We'll put a win on this one. So either one of the games we're going to win, one we'll lose.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think we win the home game and then lose because it's their new
probably
stadium.
Split all the divisional games.
You think split them all? So we got loss against the Chargers. The Chiefs are probably going to be in the playoffs, so they'll be sitting people. So I'm going to go.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. Is that they'll get it they'll clinch early, and then we won't even get to play their starters.
No,
so we'll put a win on that one. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
That's such a hollow. That's 6 years we've lost.
That's 12 wins. You want to go 12 wins?
And then our victory is so hollow. Yeah, I agree with you.
How did we get 12 wins out of that?
We got the Chiefs, we got the Raiders, we got the Bengals, Lions, Chargers, Eagles, Cowboys, Washington, Steelers, Jets, Jags, Giants. 12. Is that what you want to go with?
Christos, I think that's Drew. I think that's Teddy, and I think Rodgers gets us another win.
Mm-hmm.
But
Rodgers gets us to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, there's some options. So like I think that the Washington game is going to be interesting.
I think the Jags game is going to be more interesting than people think.
Yeah, the Jags, because their defense wasn't and the Giants' defense wasn't half bad last year either.
Also, they beat the Seahawks, so yeah.
And the Steelers, I think, the Steelers are always competitive.
If we don't come into the game, into our first home game 2-0, I think the fans are just going to be absolutely beside themselves.
I mean, we're already going in. We hate playing in MetLife because there's always bad memories there. So
I think right now at 1, 2, 3, 4. Right now we got 12-5, but we could swing that out to, let's say, Giants, Jags, worst case scenario.
The Jets game isn't
and Washington, so we'll take 4 off of that.
Our home open.
I honestly think 10 wins is probably our ceiling this year.
So we'll do. So we put it at 12. We put it at 12-5. So we'll say there's a 12-5 to 8-9 swing, give or take
Marcus,
the game.
Oh, sorry, Mike. Marcus, are you saying as the roster stands this second, 10 wins?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if Rodgers comes,
what happens?
Yeah.
Then I'm way more for the 12.
So we've got. So we have it listed at 12-5, but there's a possibility of swinging down to 8-9. So anywhere in between there, because you've got like Washington is a throw up, toss up. Steelers a toss up. Depends on what the Giants bring, and then we have no idea what Urban Meyer's team's gonna look like.
Let's be honest. If we get an 8-9 season, and we at least beat the Chiefs once, I think a lot of Broncos fans are gonna be like,
man, okay. That's a shot in the arm of motivation. Like, hey, we can beat the Chiefs after 5 years.
So I think best case scenario, realistically, is 12-5.
Hey, Mike, pull up Nando because he has the funniest comment of the night.
Who wins, Lions or Broncos?
Nando, come on. Don, could you talk to that guy, please?
Talk to my brother. Yeah, we just had that conversation today.
Hey, I mean,
okay. Now I don't know if we answered this one. You guys are saying these wins are coming from who? Drew? That we didn't say that.
I'm still trying to convince him to go to Denver
and honestly,
game too,
I think that whether it's Locke or Bridgewater, I don't think the record changes that much.
Going through these, I was thinking more on the defense could handle. And
I wasn't even thinking quarterback.
They're like, depending on what our quarterback with offensive play could deal with. So That's where I was going with.
Yeah.
I'm not for 12 wins. I think max
Dave Glass
10
the same
wins.
thing. No, we will win 12 with Lockbridge. We could be undefeated with Rogers. And honestly, I don't think that the win percentage changes that much between the two.
For the record,
as of right now, I have no idea. Yeah, I have no idea what Lock is going to look like. I'm just saying, as of right now, I don't think the win percentage changes much. But depending on what we see from the quarterbacks will depend on.
For the record, I prefer Lockwater. I think Lockwater sounds cooler than
Lockwater.
But Mike, you know what Rodgers really gets us is and I know people are going to say the guy's won one Super Bowl, he chokes, whatever. Is I think he gets us further along in the playoffs, gives us a better chance.
Who?
Absolutely.
As long as we don't face Tom Brady.
You think Lock does?
Rodgers. No. So what?
How would we face Tom Brady in the playoffs?
Well, the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I mean,
wait, who gets us farther in the playoffs?
Rodgers.
Oh, Rodgers. I thought you said Lock.
And anybody who thinks those NFC championships were his fault, come on.
Man, you cannot look at that San Francisco
Rodgers'
D-line
fault.
Huh? No, none of them were.
No,
literally.
And I think that's one of the reasons why he's so upset with the Packers. Is who do they keep giving him to throw to?
You could even go back to the Seahawks when they had that like 2 years in a row with
when they lost to that Hail Mary throw by Russell Wilson in
that
overtime?
wasn't in the championship, but the onside kick, the Boston,
whatever. Yeah.
Well,
he jumped up for the ball.
I will say this: now that
was a sad day for Packer fans.
Naming quarterbacks, and we know that Bridgewater was away with the birth of a child. Isn't it Teddy Bodrywater now?
Is that how we're going to end the show? Just coming up with nicknames?
That's what we're going to do. We're going to come up with nicknames.
Well, I'm going to stick to Lockwater then, Mike.
So, yeah, we got so we have it down as 12-5 with a floor of 8-9.
Oh, God, we sound like a bunch of orange-colored glassed boys. I don't like it. I'm going to say 10 wins. I'm breaking 10 wins.
So,
hey, we could be like our friend Johnny who said 18-0.
Well, and I think we all pretty much came down right around the 9-8, 10-7 kind of thing. And again, like 12-5 is like best case scenario. If everything goes our way, we have no issues. But when does that ever happen? So I'm still leaning towards 10-7. That's what I said earlier. And I don't think quarterback really matters unless we get Rodgers and I was gonna say Watson, but he's not going anywhere.
But you mentioned the defense, and that's one of the things is we've been talking about. You need to keep up with the offenses of these other teams in our division, but our outside games don't require us to necessarily have to do that. So
2.
No, he probably won't get fired because Peyton
he's going to go down with the ship.
Peyton has spent a lot of time adding players that are strong on special teams. So
Peyton probably forgot he's there.
All right,
won't realize till the end of the next season. You're still here.
Check the time. We can go as long as we want, sir. I am not limited by time. We are like an hour and a half into it. So we should probably get going. So now that we've gone through all that, that's going to about do it for us today.
Hey, Mark,
we covered a lot. So we want to thank every single person that joined us in the chat today. And again, we have started the quest for 1,000. We've been asked about merch and supporting everything in the podcast. We can't really do that until we hit 1,000 subs on YouTube. So we can start working on the merch and supporters and all other kinds of ideas that we have going on. So make sure that you slap that thumbs up button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and share everything so that you can know when we go live and anytime we post amazing content on our pages, and so that other Broncos fans out there in Broncos country can know that we are here. Make sure that you are tuning in at 6-5-4-3 on Sundays for the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast with Johnny and Isaiah. And make sure you tune in at 7-6-5-4 on Tuesdays to Broncos Talk with a 6'10" and Rich. Now this week they're going to have a Raiders fan on the podcast. They're going to be going head-to-head with the Raiders fan, so make sure you're jumping in the chat to have their back against the Raiders fan because Raiders suck.
What prison is he in?
I don't know. Does it matter?
Is it in Oakland? Does he know the team isn't there anymore?
It'll be funny to see which one of us says Oakland first.
You should ask if he's an Oakland Raiders fan or
LA.
LA
or a newly minted Las Vegas fan.
Just say Oakland and see if he corrects you at all.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
so with that, we're gonna head out because we've been here like an hour and a half, which is awesome. But again, we don't want to cut other people off. We love y'all. Have a great weekend. And are we gonna do the mile high five? All right, ready? Mile high five! Y'all, Boggins didn't do it again.
He did it earlier.
I quit. You guys suck. I'm leaving.